So Wall Street is dumping Elon Musk. That's the subject of today's video. And check out this headline. Wall Street banks prepare to sell billions of dollars of X loans. That refers to Twitter, which is Elon Musk's company. And the question is Elon Musk, Tesla, and now Twitter going bankrupt? Is this why Wall Street is dumping this stuff? I'll try to go over this the best that I can. It is very complicated. It's very important because it intersects in many facets of our culture, our politics, our markets, our finances, everything. And start with this. We talked about this. You guys saw my last video. This is Jamie Dimon calls Elon Musk the Einstein of our time, said they are reconciled and hugged it out. And basically in public, right, you tell one, oh yeah, that Elon Musk guy, he's so smart. Oh yeah, that Elon Musk is Einstein. Oh, we figured out all our differences. But then behind the scenes, they're preparing to dump all his loans. Basically what it is that, right, when you loan someone some money, that person promises you, hey, I'm good for the money. The problem is, though, is like, what if you're not good for the money? Meaning that, let's say Tesla is sinking, right? Because you're pissing off all of your fans. You're pissing off people all around the world. And you got Twitter. Advertisers are leaving you, right? And then the Wall Street has to pretend that like everything's fine. And so this is where the charade comes. They have to pretend everything's fine over at Twitter. Everything's fine with Musk, and then you can dump all the loans, all the money that Musk owed to you to other people. Do you see how this game is played? And that's why Jamie Dimon would come out and say, oh yeah, we hugged it out. But no, they're actually preparing to dump all these debt. When we talked about this before, and I can't remember, it might have been like 3 or 4 months ago, I made some videos on this stuff. But basically they were saying this was like the worst deal, indebted deal since the great financial crisis, 2008. They're talking about the Twitter deal. The Wall Street bankers even had to like not take their bonuses and stuff like that. They were laying off people. This was a massive deal. It involved a lot of money. You have a lot of foreign money coming into this thing. It is pretty crazy. And it makes, kind of makes sense if you understand that, Musk has really rotated. He knows that Tesla is sinking. Does he, say that stuff publicly? No, of course not. He doesn't even talk about Tesla anymore. He talks about other stuff. But these are the kind of things that you pay attention to. Don't necessarily pay attention to what people say. Pay attention to what people do, and Wall Street's dumping you. It doesn't look good. Now, on top of that, this is actually kind of interesting. There's been rumors that, maybe Musk will be the front runner to buy TikTok. And I'm just like, with what money? But it also kind of makes sense, too, when you think about how, Trump's trying to get foreign money, right? So this is where things get convoluted. Because also people don't like each other. These people are essentially all trying to ride on the same ship. They're all a bunch of criminals and thieves. And on top of that, they asked someone recently regarding, remember Trump announced that whole Stargate thing with the Sam Altman guy, made a video on that. You guys can watch that one. When asked, hey, why does Musk say you guys don't have enough money on this thing? Trump said he hates one of the people. That's referring to Sam Altman. I know it's complicated. I'm going through a lot very quickly because these things are all tied together. But if you wanted to understand a simplified version of what we're talking about is the way these people operate, be it Musk, be it Trump, be it Sam Altman, whatever, it's all about selling you this hype dream, this hype product, okay? You get Wall Street on board to pump it with you. Then you borrow money based on your hyped dreams, hype product. You live on lines of credit. And then this is where the sort of, how can I say, flashing lights appear is when they're like, we're not sure if this guy can pay us back with his line of credit. And then they start dumping, right? They want to essentially move that line of credit / loans to other people. So that's sort of why this is important to watch right now. And this is sort of why you look at this kind of story. Let me read a little bit of the details so you guys can understand what's going on here. It says Wall Street banks are getting ready to sell a big chunk of debt holdings in X, the social media platform controlled by Elon Musk. That's Morgan Stanley bankers have reached out to investors ahead of the planned sale next week of up to $3 billion of debt. The bank and other banks, they got Bank of America's involved with this, Barclays, and that was back in the Twitter thing. The thing that's really funny, because Morgan Stanley always leads these kind of stuff when they talk about the Twitter deal. The analyst, his name is Jonas over there. He's the biggest pumper of Tesla on Wall Street. Adam Jonas is his name. And it's no wonder because Elon Musk, essentially Twitter, they owe the most money to Morgan Stanley. So of course they're going to keep pumping this stuff up. So if you understand this, they pump up stuff. They try to make stuff look better than it is in order to sell it to other people. That's how Wall Street functions. It also says here, let's see, this is kind of interesting. Yeah, to sell the debt, bankers will have to convince investors that the company's financials have stabilized. Musk's recent rise in power and alliance with President Trump have seemed to help change the narrative around X's fortunes, right? So from their point of view, right? I'll just be honest. From their point of view, there's like, okay, we all know that Musk is involved with the oligarchy, involved with corruption. We're going to tell investors, hey, Musk is tight with the president. Hey, you're going to get that TikTok acquisition. Hey, you're going to have a lot of great traffic over at X. And this is where it's an interesting thing, because I think you can make that case. I'll be honest with you. You can make that case. Whether or not that is actually the reality, whether or not being close to President Trump, who's a felon, is a good thing. That's up to opinion. But this is part of the game again. Is you try to, what's that word to say? Put lipstick on a pig. That's another way to put it. But it's funny when you read through the stuff. And this is also says here, investors have been reaching out to banks and have indicated interest in buying the company's debt. Okay, so some people are interested in buying this thing because they believe the company's financials are on an upward trajectory. One of the people said in a January email, and this is where it gets interesting, Musk pointed out the company's growing influence and power, but said finances remain problematic, referring to X. Quote, our users' growth is stagnant, revenue is unimpressive, and we've barely breaking even. So that was an email from Musk to, I guess, some people over at X. And this is where, and that was in January, so that was pretty recent actually. So this is where you get discrepancies where some people are saying, well, we're thinking about investing in Elon Musk because, we've heard that the company financials are on an upward trend. And then an email, right? And this is why you want to look at everything. What this is from the Wall Street Journal said that Musk is saying growth is stagnant, revenue unimpressive, and we're barely breaking even. This is a fantastic, crazy drama that we're watching. Then you got this on top. I know, there's more. Tesla to recall 1.2 million cars in China on safety concerns. We had a very similar thing that happened in the USA as well. So it's happening in China. And this is important because it shows that these sort of defects are not just in just one group of cars. It's like, frankly, all the Teslas. Because this would be the Shanghai plant. I think he's got, if I remember correctly, I think there's a plant in Germany, a plant in China, a plant in America. If there's another country involved, you guys can let me know. So I don't know if there's been a European recall on the same thing. It's something problem with the rear view camera. It just doesn't work. And it's always something with the Teslas. It's funny because they did a refresh recently. And the problem with these things is they integrate a lot of the functions of the car into their screen. So it ends up becoming like a phone in a way. And for some people, maybe they like that. For me, I still want physical buttons. I still want a gear shifter. I want a physical thing to, turn my turn signals. I don't want to have to like swipe my screen to go into reverse. It's like, it's not just that practical. If anyone is driven this kind of stuff, I just want to be able to, drive a car. Ultimately, I wouldn't be shocked if, well, actually, I take that back. I know they did announce it. Their new robotaxi thing. It's supposedly not going to have pedals or a steering wheel. I was just making a joke how it's all going to be screen, but actually that is their plan, to be able to, drive your car all with the screen. But in fact, in that situation, it's going to be, we're going to have the robot drive it and you can't do anything. It's Tesla. I mean, what do you expect? On top of that, Musk is, and this is sort of like part of how this plan is integrated here. They want to kill the penny. So kind of what I think is going on in Musk's point of view is like, okay, I'm partnered with Trump. How can I cut regulations so, people don't go after me for faulty products? How can I cut government spending and then divert it to my companies and save myself? And how can I, distract people like, hey, we're going to save you, I guess, $179 million or something like that on the penny or whatever they're going to save. This is part of the game. And then part of this, top of that, is how do we keep getting money into that? This is an interesting one today. Headline: you can own Elon Musk SpaceX, but at what price? Basically, now there's these ETFs out there if you want to invest in SpaceX, because it has been going to the moon. I'll be pretty frank. This is real. Your Bitcoins, your Teslas, and your SpaceX have all been going up after Trump became president with Musk. And so that's kind of why Wall Street's trying to dump right now. They're trying to, everything has been going up. That's true. But this is, if you had to ask me my opinion, I think it's all a crazy bubble. I mean, I think it's obvious. But you have to, again, put lipstick on a pig. On top of that, and again, all this stuff is connected. If you want to understand the markets, Musk, Trump, etc., the SEC revokes unpopular banking rule that blocked Wall Street banks from adopting crypto. So what is going on with this? So before, I guess, banks, when you put Bitcoin and crypto on your balance sheet, you had to classify it as liability.
I guess theoretically these days you can call it an asset if you want to call it that, but there are rules of this kind of stuff. And we've actually had disputes on this before of how do you classify crypto, because then it determines which government agency will look at it. Is it a commodity? Is it a security, etc.? And there'll be different agencies that monitor and regulate said things. But Musk and Trump, they want to cut all the stuff. And if you guys put this all together, if you understand what's going on here, when you're privately company, so something like a SpaceX, things like that, or Twitter, your books aren't public, right? So we don't really know what's going on with that situation there. And so then when the private equity firms are going after your 401ks, et cetera, which we've talked about before on the channel, because I want you to make sure you understand like how this is all connected. You don't know you don't know how the books are over these type of companies, right? There's lack of transparency. This is what it's all about. They're trying to potentially get away with crimes or whatever, right? And not be transparent about said things. So I'm actually really curious what's going to happen with this Musk stuff. They're trying to save himself and keep the boat afloat. The Trump Musk presidency just started and already people are quitting or being fired, right? Talking about what's going on with DOGE, with the head lawyer left. And then Vivek is out too as well. And then on top of that, Wall Street is dumping Elon Musk. In my opinion, right, with the money situations right now, guys, I've talked about this several times on the channel. I just think stick with index funds. I would avoid any of this kind of hypey stuff at the moment because it's all hype, right? Be it, and it's funny when they call each other out, be it when, Trump's like, hey, we got this new, Stargate thing. It's going to be awesome. And then Musk is like, they don't have the money. And then, in public, Jamie Dimon's like, hey, I'm hugging it out, making, amends with Musk. And then, privately, they're trying to dump all of Musk's, loans. That's what this is. So, when in doubt, for your money, your investments, these kind of things, be careful with the hype. Go with things that are, publicly traded is going to be better if you're going to be in the markets. Index funds are your safest way to protect yourself. On top of that, right, pay off your debts. Make sure you're secure with your employment. And have some cash aside. It's not crazy in this environment that we're in. There's a lot of junk out there, be it with Donald Trump sells meme coins and so does Melania. That's what it is. So that's what I try my best to like give you an overview of what's going on. It is absolutely crazy. I want to hear your thoughts on what you think. And I do appreciate your time, and I'll catch you next video.